Welcome to the new building addition for the Church of Annunciation Community Center, built by Prodigy Construction. This training and orientation video for your new building includes instructions and demonstrations on how to properly operate and maintain all the systems in your new facility. Let's get started.
My name is Chad Downey with MD Electric Company. We were fortunate enough to do the electrical on this project. I'm here today to show you about these panels here behind me. These panels here behind me are also fed from the main disconnect outside, which you'll see a picture of. I'm here to talk about the circuitry in these panels behind us. So let's get started. We've opened the panel MDP. This breaker right here is the breaker that backfeeds the old classroom building. These breakers right here are all the AC units in the building. This breaker right here on top is the panel that feeds all the general circuits in the building next to us. And the panel down here on this breaker down here on the bottom is the panel in the kitchen. This is panel LP1. Inside this panel is all the lighting and the receptacles and furnaces in the building. Okay. This is the circuit directory. These are in each of the panels. This panel has 42 circuits, and each circuit is labeled as to what each individual breaker goes to. To our left is the Spec Pro surge protection device. If all three lights are green, the system's working normally. If any light is not, then you would need to call an electrician to come and check it out for you. Okay. Next to these two panel boxes here is the time clock. This has all the exterior lighting on the building, wall packs included. And the timer and settings are all right here on the dial. Everyone is familiar with what these are. These are motion sensor switches. We also have those in the ceiling throughout the facility. Each one of these, the ones in the ceiling and the wall, both have time adjustment settings on them.
I'm Mike with Koorsen Fire and Security. We're here at Annunciation Church. We had the pleasure of installing their fire system for them, Access. So today we're going to go over the do's and don'ts of what you need to do with it. Okay, so we have the main fire panel here. As you see, it is in normal condition. We have the one green light on it, which is good. We can set the fire alarm off and show you what it sounds like and what you need to do if it ever does go off. Okay, I set a drill, but if the fire alarm ever does go off, you just need to get out of the building and do not touch the panel. Let the fire department actually silence the panel for you. That way we can figure out what's going on. Okay, if you do a drill and you want to deactivate the drill, you just need to come back to the panel, hit drill, and it will silence it. Now, if your panel goes into trouble, you don't need to put this code in. You're going to have some beeping, which is normal with the panel in trouble. You're going to have a couple different lights. So what you will need to do is basically acknowledge panel silence, and it will tell you up here in the description of what could be in trouble or what might be the problem. Just give our service department a call and we'll get someone out as quick as possible, to take a look at your panel for you. Okay, to the left of the fire panel is the panel for the door access system. In case of a fire alarm, you're going to have 4 doors that drop out for code reasons, safety reasons, for people to get out of the building. Once everything is clear, once our fire panel is reset and clear, you're going to have to reset and disarm this system as well. What you would do is push and hold 2. If the fire alarm was going off and your doors was unlocked, 99 command. It's going to turn your sensors off, turn your sensors back on. Then you will actually have to disarm the system, which you just hit command over until you see disarm, top row key, 99 command again. Yes. But you do got to make sure your fire panel is reset as well. Okay, what we have here is a secondary control for the fire alarm. It's the remote annunciator. It's located in the front lobby, front entrance area. Basically same thing as what you have back there, just smaller keypad. You're going to have lights that light up in this area that'll give you troubles, alarms. You can silence, reset, do a drill as well from here.
Hello, my name is Charlie Jockey with Sondergeld Plumbing. We did the plumbing on the church here. Today we're going to talk about a few things that we want to, maintenance-wise, that you may be interested in doing down the road. The first thing we'll talk about will be the grease trap beside me. We'll take that off. You'll take those 4 screws out of the lid, pull it off. You will see grease floating in the top of that. Depends on how much the kitchen is used. I'd say monthly starting off, we would probably check it, and then if just kind of play it by ear, maybe 6 months. It just really depends on how much use the kitchen gets. The next thing in this kitchen is a 3-comp sink. It's got the lever drains on it. Basically, if you turn the levers up, they'll be shut off. They'll hold water. Off to the side, they'll drain. Got 2-inch drains on it. Should handle anything that all 3 bowls filled. You dump them, they'll dump. Water will dump out. Produce, rinse, sit on it. There, basically, it's just a turn the faucet on, turn the handle here, and that'll energize your pre-wash. Ice maker would be the next thing. There's a water filtration system on it. That filter will have to be changed periodically. Just really depends on how much use you get. Also, a hand sink in the far corner. Other than that, there's really no maintenance to any of these sinks.
My name is Andrew Booker, and I'm with US Specialties. We are a dealer and installer for operable wall partitions, which we put in here at Church of Annunciation in Shelbyville. Today I'm going to talk you through the process of setting up and taking down those operable partitions, as well as showing you how to deploy each panel and setting up the wall correctly. Basically, we're going to start with what is called our trail panel that will cut this one right here. It will come out of the pocket and onto the main line of the track, and it will run all the way down to the far end of the wall. And it's very important that you slowly move these down the track. You never want to just slam it down or slam it hard into its receiving surface. So guide it down, and then there is a drop seal with a knuckle, and it is operated with a tool. You give it a quarter turn, let it drop, and you move the next panel on into it. Once you have your trail panel in place and the seal is correct and you've dropped your mechanism, you then go back to your storage pocket and pull out your next panel, guide it to the trail panel, your first panel. You will line up the edges, and then you will drop your seal on that panel as well and proceed with each panel until you get to your lead panel, which is what is in the back of the pocket. Once you get to that, you will line it up with the rest of the wall, and you will drop the mechanism on it as well. And then it has what is called an extender panel on it. And that's what creates the tight seal against the wall on this storage end of the pocket. Once you extend that out, you slowly crank it. Don't over crank it, and it will form a nice tight seal against the wall. Once you are ready to break down the wall, it's basically a reverse process. You start with your extender lever, your extender panel on your lead panel, and you pull it, retract it back, and then you bring up that seal and then pull it back in the pocket. You then go to your next panel that is in line with the wall, and again, release that seal, fold it back into the storage pocket, and so on until you get to your last panel that is deployed, retract it, bring it back, and store it in the pocket. Maintenance, we suggest a yearly maintenance of cleaning the track, making sure that there is nothing getting stuck in it, dust, any gunk that can get up there. And we recommend coming through yearly, cleaning it out, wiping it down, making sure everything is properly greased or lubricated and moving freely up in the tracks. These are relatively maintenance-free. Sometimes you can get a bad seal that gets caught in the track. That's a very easy thing to fix. The panel faces are replaceable if damage occurs on them.
Hi, I'm Jeff Thoms with Legacy Heating and Air. We were the heating and air contractor in this wonderful building here in Shelbyville today. I'm going to show you some of the settings, controls, and some of the maintenance tips for the systems in this building. Let's get started. All right, we're going to start with the thermostats here. There are 5 of them in this building. They're all the same models. They all work the same ways. They're programmable thermostats that can be set for different times and different temperatures. A basic run through is a simple how to turn it off and on. You hit the system button there. That takes you to your menu of heat, cool, automatic mode, which is a heat and cool combined. You can set together or off. You just make your choice. Hit done when you're done. The system's back there. They're all programmed for 72 degrees as of right now, but we will provide paperwork on how to connect to the internet for the Wi-Fi options and how to program them to your liking. All right, we're going to show you where the filters are on these units. They need to be changed at least every 3 months, maybe 6 if you want to push it in the off seasons, between the summer and the winter. But basically they all have a door, a little lock handle. They have the size written on all of them, and you just basically slide this out of the track, remove it, slide a new one in with the airflow pointing towards the furnace. It's always wanting to point towards a piece of equipment. It doesn't really change how it filters. It just is made to be stronger that way so it doesn't fall apart. Change them regularly, and that's really all you have to do as a building owner or homeowner to keep it working well. Now we're going to move on to the ERV control, the energy recovery and ventilation units. There's 4 of these on this end of the building. They all have this controller tied to the system that they are tied to. Essentially, you don't want to mess with them too much. There's a chart basically between 60% and 45% for the humidity settings that you want to stay between. I would leave it on intermittent most of the time unless you have a large gathering. It might be good to go ahead and turn it on completely to where it's constantly running and turn it back to intermittent after the party's over. Other than that, just kind of leave it set between 60 and 45 and it should be good to go. We moved into the kitchen, and now I'm going to show you the ductless heating and cooling unit for this area. There is another one over in the entry area behind us, but basically it is controlled with a remote control to set the temperature, heat and cool, but it does have filters that have to be serviced behind this front door. On the sides, there's a spot for your fingers to grab it. It pops up, stays in place. You pull these filters out, and they are a washable filter that needs to be washed at least once a month. When it's running continuously all the time, and like I said, just spray them off, let them dry off a little bit, reinstall them into the track, and you're good to go. Now we moved up into the attic where the remaining 4 units are located. You've got your furnaces, coils, filter set up the same way as it is downstairs like we previously showed. These doors just open up. This unit's on right now, makes it a little tougher to open, but the filter will slide out. The arrow on the filter should always point towards the furnace, just like we did downstairs. Same time frame on change them, they're the same filters. All the sizes are marked on the casings as you go on down through here. Like I said, 4 systems, 4 more filters up here to be changed. Every unit has a drain safety switch on it. It's located right next to the drain. It has a float in it that if the drain ever backs up and water fills up the float, it will shut the unit down, and even though the thermostat's telling it to run, the unit won't be on. That's a basic thing to check if you have a problem with the unit in the summertime. Just know that your systems have them on it.
I'm Mike with Project Construction. I appreciate your time in watching this video. If you have any questions or concerns on anything, please contact me at the information listed below. Thank you.